Here we are on the river walk. I haven't done a talk in a long time. And the last one I did, I noticed that the views have gone down substantially. Well, can't say it bothers me too much. I don't do any of this to get views or revenue or anything like that. So here we are. I am walking along, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Someone's coming up the trail. Who is that? Well, far, far away. Little teeny person. They get larger and larger. And then you get this weird tingle up your spine. You're not sure everything's all right. Something might be seriously wrong because the person is walking toward you. In a sense, it's as if you're looking in a mirror because that person is you. Yeah, you. So you're walking along in solitude, and then all of a sudden the person that comes along and you meet face to face is yourself. This is your chance to have a rather objective, view of yourself. You could talk about things. You could discuss. You could walk together. You could just part. You could get into a fight. Who knows? But the question is, would you like that person? And the way a lot of people are psychologically, chances are very good that you wouldn't. You wouldn't like that person. No, you wouldn't. Why would you? You're an asshole, right? So, what we find with a lot of people these days psychologically, it's psychological. On some levels it's survival, then there's physical attributes to what I'm getting at, adrenaline and things like that. But basically, our whole culture, and it's been exacerbated by smartphones and computers and constant news feeds and things like that, is that everything is presented to you to make a judgment about. So it could be Donald Trump, could be someone else in the news, sports figure, evangelist, TV host. Just there's no end to it, Oh, here's someone that did something to someone in public. They shot them or pushed them or kicked them or ran over them or something like that. Oh, very bad, very bad. And you judge that. So, well, I'm not judging. It is bad. That's what they did. In a lot of these cases, once the real truth comes out, it's not the way it was presented at all. But in any case, not to argue the details of those sorts of events, what I'm getting at is that the whole economy, psychological economy and monetary economy, to a large degree, is based on this constant, continuous judgment. So the psychology textbooks, when you look into judgment, you run into words like projection and things like that, which basically imply that the person is judging others because they're insecure about themselves. They don't want to judge themselves and who they are, or they feel inferior or lacking. And so that insecurity and fear, if you have someone else, oh well, I may not know what the fuck, but I'm better than they are, that serves a purpose psychologically. Not a good one, but anyway, there's a lot of money to be made by promoting this, because just check your news feed. Facebook has a news feed on the app on the phone. You can click on that multiple times a day, see what's going on out there. Every single story is something that you can make a judgment about, that, oh, that's so bad. And I would never do that because I'm better than that. Of course, you might not be really doing much of anything yourself, but you know you're not them or that. So that's a big thing, and it's there again, psychology is in a sense a science of identity, and when people begin to adopt, well, you could call them emblems or badges, you know. People say, well, I'm this, I'm that, I belong to this group, I'm this religion, I'm this, that, and then they're covered in these slogans and things, and they say, well, this is me. It's like, well, no, it's really not you. It's just a bunch of stuff that you picked up, you found laying around. You didn't create it, you don't own it, and in a lot of cases, the group you think you belong to, they'd all kick you out in a heartbeat. So, hold on. So just took a walk down the boat ramp here, and had some pretty high water lately. Well, anyway, as far as where all this is leading, I recently created a meme that said something in 4 words, and I can't take credit for it. I didn't invent it. There again, I don't think anyone invents anything really. But it's the 4 words are this. Subtraction reveals invisible solutions. So take any of the issues that I've talked about, or any social issues or anything else. Take, for example, what's going on with the virus and the lockdown. It's like up until now, we've been sort of locked into this pattern of, you know, buy gas, drive to work, drive home, drive here, drive to get a loaf of bread, driving everywhere, burning fossil fuel, all this stuff. Oh, we can't stop. You know, there's no solution. What are we supposed to do? And then the virus comes along, and blammo, people are starting to work at home. Offices are empty. And because of the subtraction of the car, other solutions presented themselves. They were there all along. They were invisible. Well, they weren't invisible to me. I've been saying this a long time, that all this traveling is unnecessary. But anyway, that's a good example. Another example, the psychological makeup I was talking about found dogmas and, you know, badges and identity stickers, whatever. It's basically like bumper stickers. You know, why do people have bumper stickers on their car? Well, they want to tell you about themselves. They want to advertise. Why do people have tattoos, you know, where you can see them? Because they want your attention. They want to advertise. They want to make a statement, you know. But why would they want to do that? Well, it's usually because they have stage fright. They're afraid, and it's fear. So you get the biggest rock star, you know, dresses to the nines, glitter and furs and colorful outfits and all this stuff. So before they go on stage, they're terrified. So they have to present a false self so that the true self won't get criticized because it's so vulnerable, right? So anyway, a person with all these identity patches all over, what happens if you subtract those? If you remove those? Then all of a sudden the true person, the true identity that was underneath, that in a sense has been stunted due to a lack of, you know, air and light and exposure. It's been armored, living in a suit of armor for a long, long time. Finally wakes up. Yeah. So anyway, we have a lot of this going on. People adopting false facades in order to protect their vulnerabilities. You know, this new book about Trump is a good example of that. Psychological analysis of how he was treated and why he turned out the way he did, as a way of sort of psychological survival. And this is where a lot of the problems come from, you know, monstrous behaviors, dictators, so on. So anyway, I'm gonna cut this shit short and just say that whatever problem you might be having, I don't know what it is, I don't know the details, I don't know possibly who you are or anything about you. But if you work with subtraction, taking things away, then it's very possible, indeed probable and likely, that the solution will present itself. Whereas if you don't, and you continue to sail along in the current paradigm or system or identity construct, and chances are that the behaviors become rigid, inflexible, and not likely to change. So if change is, you know, really wanted, you know, the thing about an individual changing is that the individual may think they're perfect, you know, they're maintaining this facade of like, oh yeah, I'm right, you know, and they're bad and I'm judging them, you know, just like I talked about earlier. But the truth is that they're not. So it's very, very rare that anyone is right or does the right thing. Of course, people will say, oh yeah, you know, deep down they present this facade that they're always right. But you know, the people you encounter and the people around you, it's not likely they're going to agree with that. Unless you can package it in some way where it becomes useful to them. You know, they can have some utility there. It's like, well, I wouldn't want, you know, say Donald Trump as my neighbor, but you know, if I can belong to this group where he's the leader, it's like, you know, I don't have to do anything, and it satisfies something in me psychologically where I feel better about myself, you know, that I'm better than them. So anyway, some of the stuff that's going on, you know, judgment, imagined superiority, problems we face on many levels. You know, there's economics, there's technology, all these things going on, and there's psychology. There's that element behind all of it. You know, and when it comes to psychology, it's not popular with a lot of people. I've met a lot of guys who are, usually guys who are, you know, pretty rigid assholes, and they don't believe in psychology. They don't believe in therapy, you know. It's like everybody around them wishes to hell that they would go and talk to someone and straighten their shit out, start being a little kinder to other people. But nope, can't do that. Got my own rule book. And I had an encounter with someone the other day, and they did something. I mean, I've had a few encounters lately where one was where someone shook my hand and almost crushed the bones. My hand hurt for 2 weeks, and I was afraid I had a broken bone and I wasn't going to be able to work. It's going to affect my income, you know. And it's like, they crushed my hand, you know. It's like, wow. I did a video about this a while ago. Well, I had another situation a while ago where someone did something else, basically invasive to my body, you know, and very dangerous, more dangerous than a broken hand. And I said, what are you doing? I said, don't do that. If you want to do something like that, at least ask first. And the guy said, oh, I can't live my life like that. You know, I have to live. I can't ask other people if what I'm doing is okay first. So anyway, you know, in his case, that's why he has no family, no wife, no friends, no girlfriend, nothing. And of course, a person like that, it's like, do they go for psychology? Do they believe in psychology? Anyway, that's your daily news report.